Rev Pro UK have announced the Great British Tag League competitors and blocks. Will Ospreay to challenge for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship in a fatal four-way at New Japan Strong's Capital Collision. Drew Parker has become the two-time BJW Heavyweight Deathmatch champion. One of the close personal friends will compete in Progress's Super Strong Style 16. The final entrants for Pro Wrestling is She Won, including Tamuki Iroha, has been announced. Doug Williams set to team with Harry Smith as the Commonwealth Connection to challenge La Rebellion at Always Ready PPV for the NWA Tag Team Championships. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Tea and Tights, the Great British Wrestling podcast for Great British Wrestling, as featured on Body Slam, brought to you by Powered 4 TV. I'm your host, the Great British Taku, Mr. Andrew Moore, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host and still North Hearts Councillor of the Grange, Councillor Daniel Allen, Big Daddy Dan, just Dan for short.
I got
Congratulations.
Elected. Yay, thank you very much. Thank you for everyone that voted for me, and thank you for the support and the lovely messages I have had online. It has been a tiring week, but a very good week, and I'm very excited by some of this news that we've got coming up, particularly the Doug Williams and Harry Smith tag team. I think that's going to be amazing, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because I thought the British Invasion were getting back together. But as you say, we'll definitely have to talk about that. We've got all that news. We've got more news. We've got lots of top stories. TNT Extreme have announced a Welsh show. We've got reviews of Rev Pro UK, Progress, WXW, NXT UK, ICW? No ICW this week. We will get back to ICW ASAP.
The elections are over. I can now go back to ICW.
We got previews for next week. We've got news from Europe. We've got news from the UK. I think we should just get cracking.
Indeed.
So, the Rev Pro UK, the Great British Tag League, which kicks off on May 28th. And that is for the Stephen show, yes. The Cruel Intentions at the Gordon Craig Theatre, May 28th. That's when it all kicks off, when Ninja Mac will be there. It should be a great show. And now we've got all these incredible tag team matches that may possibly be on that match. Right. In Block A. I'll let you do Block A.
Well, that'll be a challenge because you haven't got them written down in front of me.
Have you not? In Block A, the Arrows of Hungary, Aussie Open,
woo,
Smoking Aces,
awesome,
and Destination Everywhere.
Very interesting with what's going on with them.
Yeah, very, very interesting considering what's going to happen just a week before. In Block B on the Sunshine Machine, Lycos Gym, and the Legion team, yet to be named, but it has now been named. Ooh. It will be Yota and Shota, Yoda Tsuji and Shota Umino as a tag team, and the Velocities from Australia.
Cool. The Arrows of Hungary are going to the UK.
They are, and they're going to have matches against the Smoking Aces and Aussie Open.
Yeah, I mean, Arrows of Hungary versus Aussie Open's got to be a world-class dream match. It really has. And yeah, it's just going to be awesome. And let's be honest, the Aces can hang with both of those teams, so it should 100%. Be very good.
Yeah, despite being in the far newer tag team, yeah, they can, I think, definitely compete. Aussie Open been together for about 5 years. Arrows of Hungary, almost 10 years together as a tag team. So I think it's about 7, maybe. Somebody may need to correct me on this, but yeah, I'm sure it's around 7 years that they have been competing as a tag team. Hopefully they'll be in the WXW Tag Team Festival. They haven't been announced yet. There have been 2 teams announced, and we'll be talking about that when we do our quick Euro news. I'm going to say that I think Destination Everywhere and Shota Umino and Yota Tsuji should swap blocks.
I see why you're suggesting that. Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Because it just seems like, you know, I mean, I get the Sunshine Machine, they're not quite a cruiserweight tag team. They are both heavyweight-ish. They're the in between, you know, 220. Yeah, that kind of weight. I wouldn't say they're much over 225 anyway. And then, of course, you got the Velocities, which are a cruiserweight tag team, and Lycos Gym, which are a cruiserweight tag team. So Destination Everywhere would also be a cruiserweight tag team, whereas Yoda Suji. So I would have had like a heavyweight block and a cruiserweight block, and then had. But it's good to mix it up, I guess, as well, because it'll create different matchups.
Yeah.
So, but I think that would be my only change. But that does sound like great. As I say, kicks off May 28th in the Stevenage Gordon Craig Theatre. Should be a great show. The week before that, of course, is Epic Encounters.
Yes, and I have now found all of the things that you'd written down for me because I am useless. Epic Encounters, Robbie X and Luke Jacobs will once again face off, this time in a 2 out of 3 falls match, plus the undisputed British Women's Champion Alex Windsor will defend her championship against former Impact knockout Kylie Ray.
Yeah, I think that's really good. I think Kylie Ray is actually a really fantastic competitor.
Yeah.
I'm not going to harp on too much. She is a fantastic competitor, and when she's on point, she can be one of the best female competitors in the world, to be honest.
I hope she has a great time visiting the UK.
I'm sure she will. We will welcome her. She will absolutely. The crowd will eat her positivity up.
Yeah,
they really
definitely.
will. You know, I'm sure there'll be some great chance for Kylie Ray.
As we mentioned earlier, there is another interesting match that has been announced, isn't there?
Yes, the most interesting match of all.
Connor Mills will challenge his best friend and tag team partner, Michael Oku, for the undisputed British Cruiserweight Championships. And we know from past experience, Connor Mills won't hold back.
Yeah, and this is finally going to be truly a chance for him in a one-on-one situation. I know he's competed in a few scramble matches where Michael Oku's been involved, but I don't think he's ever really gone truly one-on-one with him. Did he do so in the Junior Cruiserweight tournament?
Yeah, they did face.
No,
they
again,
didn't. No,
that was it was part of the multi-match,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it will be very interesting. I think it's time for a new champion. I think Connor Mills is a phenomenal competitor. You know, I've always been the one that thinks that Connor Mills is actually the star of the two in the tag team. So it's just going to be a great match.
It will definitely be a great match. It will be a standout match on the card.
That Robbie X, Luke Jacobs, of course, always has the potential to steal the show, especially in a 2 out of 3 falls environment. Because, of course, they face each other in the junior tournament, which Luke Jacobs won. Robbie X won a rematch. So this is, 2 out of 3 falls. I was literally on the Rep UK last show. Even Andy Quilden was like on commentary, this young man has had banger after banger, because he really, really has. And he had another banger that week as well, and I'll talk about that later. But obviously, this is, May 22nd. This is Epic Encounters at the York Hall. Pretty much one of their biggest shows of the year. If all goes well, I reckon you get at least 900
especially with the previously announced matches of Aussie Open facing the Velocities and Will Ospreay defending the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship against Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah, now the Velocities versus Aussie Open was actually Australia's match of the year in 2021. So expecting some explosive match. I haven't seen much of the Velocities. They seem like they can do some extremely high-flying stuff. I think one of them did a shooting star press into a DDT.
Proper flippy shit.
Proper flippy shit, indeed. We'll stick on Will Ospreay because he, of course, is finally set to challenge Hiroshi Tanahashi for the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship. He was due to face him at Dominion for the title, but had to pull out due to COVID. I can't remember who Tanahashi did face, but he was attacked after the match by Juice Robinson. So Juice Robinson has got himself involved in the match. Dean Ambrose has always said that he has been owed a rematch for the US Championship, or at least a chance to get his hands back on it after losing it to Lance Archer, and then Lance Archer went on to lose it to Tanahashi. So it is now going to be a fatal four-way with Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, Will Ospreay, and Jon Moxley.
I'm happy for that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a good match. I'm sure it damn well will be. I can't see why it will fail as a great match. I love the promo that Will Ospreay did to set this match up, talking about the fact that now that he's interested in the US Championship, everybody else seems to be interested in the US Championship. So he was the one that came up with the idea to settle it in a fatal four-way. Because in New Japan, they don't really do too many fatal four-ways on in the Japanese shows. But obviously, it's a show from America, so fatal four-ways are just expected on a card these days. Got to have at least one.
So we've talked about Will Ospreay and Rev Pro. We've talked about Will Ospreay at IWGP. Now we need to talk about Will Ospreay at Game Changer Wrestling.
Indeed. He is set for his GCW debut in a show called I Never Liked You, which is on the 19th of June. And just this morning, or it might have been late last night when we were in bed, because America's on a different time zone, but his opponent is going to be the young man Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne is about to become the youngest person ever to get a 5-star match rating.
Wow.
Because this is going to be a banger, an absolute banger. I've seen some of Nick Wayne's stuff. Apparently he's always having great matches. You get a lot of hype online for the young man. He has signed with AEW now, hasn't he?
I believe so.
So, you know, it speaks volume to be one of the youngest guys to get signed to AEW. And I literally, Joey Janela, it all comes off the back. Apparently, Joey Janela asked Nick Wayne, he said, look, name your opponent and I'll make sure it happens. And he said Will Ospreay, and now he is facing Will Ospreay. And, you know, manifest your dreams, people.
Amen to that. If you're going to have your tick list at the beginning of the year, you might as well have somebody big on it.
Indeed.
Speaking of Brits that will be heading back to GCW, the former GCW Ultra-Violent champion Drew Parker is coming back to be a part of the Tournament of Survival 7.
Along with a bunch of people I've not heard of, unfortunately, but we'll go through them anyway.
I've heard of two of them.
Cole Radrick. I think Cole Radrick's been a guest or an upcoming guest on one of the Body Slam one's the NDD show that we do, the independent wrestling show, so go check that out. I'm pretty sure I saw his name. You've also got Matt Tremont, Slade, Shane Mercer, Hoodfoot, Toru Sugiura, and Rina Yamashita on the 4th of June.
Like I said, I've heard of Matt Tremont and I've heard of Shane Mercer. No disrespect to the other guys, because I've already upset enough wrestlers, but they're not people that I am aware of.
I think this is, I'm assuming this is a deathmatch tournament.
I'm guessing so from the title, yeah, and from who's in it.
Yeah, so that's the reason I typically won't know who these guys are, because obviously I know you like deathmatch wrestling, but you're not deep into the world of it.
No. Somebody who is deep into the world of it, though, is Drew Parker, because he has just become a 2-time Big Japan Wrestling Deathmatch Heavyweight Champion after he defeated former champion Yuko Miyamoto in a Death from Above scaffold match. Nice.
Yeah, I seen some pictures. It looked crazy.
The scaffold high?
It looked pretty high, and I'm pretty sure he took a power bomb off it through some tables.
Nice.
Yeah, it seems like Drew Parker. I spoke to I spoke to Spike Trevay this week, and it's an interview that is available on the bodysound.net YouTube channel and will be available later on the Jonas Podcast Network via Spotify today. And we did speak about Drew Parker because he is a former member of the DNR faction in Progress, Do Not Resuscitate, which were a bunch of young wrestlers, Spike Trevay. Even Chuck Mambo was involved as well. It was present William Eva rather than the pastor William Eva. Eventually, Danny Duggan joined the stable, and Pretty Deadly did as well. But obviously, COVID destroyed all their plans. Yeah, we were speaking about it, and he just said that he is a wonderful, crazy person.
I've got to say, your interview with Spike Trevay, I'm not blowing smoke up the backside, is very, very good, and it's well worth having a listen to, guys.
Yeah, we've got a nice message from Lee about that one, about Progress, who just, it is, I really, really enjoyed that interview. It's just, you know, Spike Trevay has always been one of my favorites. You know, he has. I've always spoken very highly about the character work, but not just that, his in-ring ability as well. We'll be talking about his match with Spike Trevay a little bit later, and we'll talk a bit more about it, the interview and so forth. But yeah, he said Drew Parker is just a wonderful lunatic, and Chris Brooks mentioned on Twitter that he loves Chris thing, but would wish he would stop bleeding so profusely. Well, congratulations, Drew Parker. Anyway, Big Japan Wrestling. He's really made a name for himself out there in the true deathmatch fashion.
Yeah. We just talked about your interview with one of the stars of Progress Wrestling. Let's move on to Progress. Excellent news about the Super Strong Style 16, because one of the close personal friends will be taking part in this year's Super Strong Style 16. But who will it be?
Yeah, let's discuss this. And look, lads, we're going to be. It's going to be hard to choose, but I think it should be Callum Newman.
I understand this, and I disagree with you. I think it should be Danny Black.
I understand this, and I disagree with you. So I understand the fact that you're going for Danny Black because he has got the Progress history. He's been the guy longest in Progress. He is actually the eldest of the guys as well, I believe.
I thought Maverick Mayhew had been in Progress longer.
I think he had a dark match and maybe one appearance on Progress, but I'm being part of a long period of Progress roster, then it would be Danny Black. But yeah, I think you are right. Maverick Mayhew did make at least one appearance quite a while back, before COVID, basically, and that would of course be before Danny Black. But I believe it was only one appearance and one dark match, which is why for a long period as part of the roster, it's Danny Black. For me, I'm choosing Callum Newman, even though he is actually the youngest of the four. He's also probably had the most big match experience through Rev Pro UK in his matches with Rev Pro in front of live crowds. You know, you gotta he took on, who did he take on? Dan Maloney in front of 900 people at York Hall. He's probably had, through his work with Rev Pro UK, I know Danny Black had a long period with Progress, but a lot of that was behind closed doors, and he's only had a couple of matches actually in front of the large Progress audience. So for me, I feel like Newman, despite being the youngest, has the most experience in big matches. He's also the biggest, and this is another factor that I am putting him in for because he's the tallest, also the biggest. So he would match up a little better with some of the really big guys that are in this tournament. And I would also like to see him take on Shane Strickland, Swerve, whatever his name is nowadays, because his mentor, Will Ospreay, and Swerve the Realist tore the house down at Progress. And I think for a first round match, Callum Newman versus Swerve the Realist, just for me, and this is no offense to Maverick or Just Joe Lando, who are amazing competitors. I think Just Joe should 100%, if I was going to put one of them in the Natural Progression Series this year, Just Joe Lando would be my pick, mainly because Maverick Mayhew's got that more experience. So I think for Lando, and then Maverick can just start getting some more matches on the Progress main card, because he fully deserves it as well. He's fantastic. Probably the best technical wrestler of the...
But we know that whoever it is that wins out of the four of them, the other three will be backing them up throughout the tournament.
And whoever is picked will have banger match with whoever they face as well. So it's... Amen. Good luck, lads. And we look forward to finding out who you choose. Big news to TNT Extreme. They are finally coming to Wales on September the 4th at the Tramshed in the Welsh capital. And this is good because it makes more wrestling during that big weekend of the WWE Clash of the Castle premium live event at the Principality Stadium in Wales. Now, I think they always said that the show is actually probably going to happen before. So you'll literally have TNT, WWE, and then the Progress the next day. And of course, Progress also at the Tramshed. So this is huge. This is going to be big for TNT Extreme. You can certainly see the new partnership of the owners. So I think we're going to see TNT and Progress maybe merge a little bit, and don't know quite yet. I'm only speculating, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do see TNT Extreme on the Progress Demand Progress VOD.
I would like to see a once a year super show.
That would be amazing as well. It'd be the only difficulty in that
is where'd you hold it?
Well, where do you hold it? Plus, there are already a lot of crossover competitors. Dan Maloney is the world champion, but Dan Maloney is also a Progress champion. So it'd be hard to decide on which ones are TNT Extreme and which ones are Progress. You could say man like Doris is probably Progress, but he has also competed on TNT Ignition, but he has mainly competed on Progress. You would say that he would be, but given that Dan Maloney is the Extreme Champion right now, you would have to say that he would have to be. You could have the Kings of the North versus whoever the Tag Team Champions are.
Just split the country, North versus South.
Could do that. You got the She-Wolves, Lizzie Evos. Let's see, Alexis Falcon would be a difficult one. Is she Progress? Is she TNT? Tongo, I guess, would be more Progress. So, but a super show would be absolutely awesome. And I think there's enough. I think we'll go behind and we'll think about this, and we'll see if we can book something, eliminating the crossover guys as much as we possibly can. I think that'll be really interesting to do. So catch us doing that next week.
Speaking of crossover guys, recently announced going off big time on the 9th of June, Session Moth Martina and Gene Money will renew their hostility, which, let's be honest, has never finished, as the two face off once again for the first time in a TNT Extreme ring.
Yeah, they have taken this rivalry everywhere they go. Everywhere they go, they take this right. It's and because, as I say, it first started at Defiant and it went to basically didn't finish. It then came to North Wrestling and didn't finish, and has continued to not be finished. They've tagged at times as well as Sesh Money. But this should be a lot of fun. I think there's some part of something happened at last event where G Money was supposed to face Scott Garland or Scotty Too Hotty. So good. So I'm sure it'll be a very, very entertaining match. What I think will be an extremely, extremely entertaining double shows on June 18th and 19th, as Pro Wrestling Eve have their She-1. I'm assuming so. There's 16 competitors, so it's probably a knockout tournament. I haven't seen the She-1 before. I'd be very interested in seeing this year. So, and of course that includes Tamuki Iroah, who wrestles mainly for Marvelous in Japan. She has wrestled a few times. She was part of the Stardom 5-star GP. I've seen a few of her matches. She's a phenomenal competitor. Her match with Sayuri, absolutely, they just tore the place down. It was just so good. So she's going to be phenomenal. And so is everybody else in this tournament, because she joins Alex Windsor, Charlie Morgan, Sky Smithson, Riho, and fellow Japanese wrestler Veni, who you may have seen during the AEW All Women's tournament where they had the Japanese brackets and the UK and the AEW brackets.
Yep.
I think she was part of that tournament. Then they last night, literally, actually it was Saturday night, because we're recording on a Monday morning for a change. So it was Laura Di Matteo defeated Nina Samuels to qualify. Casey Owen defeated Clementine to qualify. Emerson Jane defeated Alexis Falcon to qualify. Jetta defeated Lizzie Evo, and Rhea O'Reilly defeated Debbie Keitel. So the competitors are Tamuki Iroah, Alex Windsor, Charlie Morgan, Sky Smithson, Riho, Veni, Laura Di Matteo, Casey Owens, Emerson Jane, Jetta, and Rhea O'Reilly.
Nice lineup.
Yeah, it should be really important. Who do you think is going to win?
Oh, I reckon, looking at that lineup, it's either going to be Casey or Laura Di Matteo.
Nice. I'm going to go Casey Owens, and I like Alex Windsor as well for this.
Alex Windsor is a good choice as well.
Yeah.
Right. One that I'm excited for, the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. Doug Williams is going to team up with Harry Smith as the Commonwealth Connection, great name, to challenge La Rebellion at the Always Ready pay-per-view for the NWA Tag Team Championship on the 11th of June. That is just 2 days after La Rebellion faced the Kings of the North at TNT Extreme's going off big time in a title versus title match. Oh, how good is a team of Doug Williams and Harry Smith going to be?
It's going to be amazing, but I think they should make it a triple threat tag match. I think the Kings of the North should be involved as well.
I understand why you're saying that, but I want the focus on Smith and Williams. I just think that they have going to have a perfect look together. They're going to have the right attitude. They're going to work so well as a tag team. They've both got decades of tag team experience. I just think they'll be great.
I think it's going to be, as you say, Doug Williams. And now they actually have teamed before as the Commonwealth Connection, and they have actually beaten La Rebellion, the only team to have beaten La Rebellion in the NWA. But it should be a good match. I love Doug Williams, who doesn't? And good to see Harry Smith back doing something, because it's been a while since I've seen anything really announced for Harry Smith. So good to see him back active.
Also, we just mentioned Kings of the North. Shall we send out our congratulations to Damien Corvin? Because he got married this weekend.
Oh, congratulations, Damien Corvin. Congratulations on getting married. That is fantastic. I'm getting married this year too. So super congratulations, Damien Corvin. It's that time of year. Eric Young is returning to the UK in September from the 1st to the 22nd. So if you're interested in booking the current Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champion for seminars or shows, contact Gary Ward again, because he does help with a lot of the guys that come from Impact fine bookers in the UK. Be interested to see where he pops up and who he pops up against, because Eric Young's always fun to have around.
Oh, yes.
I just want to do one more congratulations story, actually, to Amazon Aisha Raymond, who has just been announced that she's going to be part of the Seedling roster in Japan under the name Amazon.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Indeed.
Oh, it's nice when we get to do that.
It's always good to do some congratulations. And I say again, congratulations to Drew Parker in winning the BJW Deathmatch Championship. Deathmatches should be kept to deathmatch shows.
Definitely not family shows in the UK. You know who you are.
Indeed. Okay, let's talk about some reviews. How are we going to do? Should I start with the Progress Atlas tournament then?
Go on then.
Go on then. I will do this quickly. I will do results, and then I will do positives and negatives.
Cool.
Okay, so Banks defeated Tiska in the opening match. Laura Di Matteo defeated Riho. Royal Aces defeated Blaze and Tonga, Mercedes Blaze and Tonga. Ricky Shane Page defeated Will Cruz and Joe Hendry in a triple threat elimination. Will Cruz actually defeated Joe Hendry before RSP defeated Will Cruz. Ridgeway defeated Kid Lycos. Falcon and Smithson was a double count out, which led to Falcon trying to put Smithson through a table, but didn't quite break.
Ooh.
It broke a little. It was one of the merch stand tables.
Ouch.
Yeah, it just broke a little bit. So, you know, where it kind of goes caved inwards, but didn't quite break. Then Luke Jacobs defeated Big Damo, and the 0121 defeated the Sunshine Machine to retain the Progress Tag Team Championships. Shall I do negatives or positives first?
Go negatives first, then we'll leave it on a high note.
Good. Okay. Yeah, now the Progress fans went really, really crazy for the main event match. So much crazy that they were chanting 0121 Sunshine Machine, which the guys encouraged. This lasted about 10 minutes before the match started. And, you know, great if you were probably there. Not so great when you just sat watching it at home waiting for the match to start. So just take that into account. I know you guys were, they were just lauding up the applauders, and they both deserve it. But yeah, I think we could have started the match a bit quicker. So you know what, I'm putting it down as a negative. I tell you what, overall, and this my only other negative was it was really good, but nothing truly great.
Mm-hmm.
The positives was big win for Banks over Axel Tiska. LDM being using some heelish and being a bit more aggressive, so that was good to see. Joe Hendry's funny entrance, because
love Joe Hendry.
He did make a custom video, but they had to remain silent to listen to it. They didn't, so only he listened to it through his headphones. So I thought that was quite funny. Another Ridgeway Lycos technical classic, not quite as good as the one they had before, but a very good technical match classic. Damos and Jacobs was a short but explosive war, and so that is my review of that. I would give this 3 sugars. Nice. It's a good score. Don't say 3 sugars is not a good score. 3 sugars is a good score.
Of average.
It's good, exactly. In the second day, day 2, Jonah defeated Ricochet Page. Luke Jacobs defeated Warren Banks. Lycos Jim then tried to attack Banks following the match, but Jacobs ran them off. And then Jacobs and Warren Banks shook hands and hugged. Raven Creed defeated Nightshade, who replaced Lana Austin in the match. And Lana Austin was not happy that Nightshade lost. Danny Black defeated Spike Trevay with a little help from Cara Noir, playing my games. To know more, check out my interview with Spike Trevay. Sanity defeated Swipe Right, which is a new tag team of Adam Maxed and Joe Hendry, because every time you see guys like this, you swipe right, and everybody else, you swipe left. Just Joe Lando defeated Vaughn Vertigo. Gene Money defeated Lycos 2. And then in the finals, Jacobs, of course, defeated Jonah to win the, what's it called? The Atlas tournament and decrown the new Atlas champion, the youngest Progress champion to ever.
And of course, you can listen to Andy interviewing with Jacobs on one of our previous shows.
Indeed, you certainly can. You know what we should do? I should start cutting in part of the interview when we do this.
That sounds technical, mate.
I know. I'm getting better at doing this video edit stuff, though. So, you never know. Maybe we'll start doing that. Okay, so we'll start with the negatives again. A couple. 2 to 3 of these matches went too long. I would have started with Banks and Jacobs over Jonah and Ricky Shane Page, because I think they had a better match. I think it would have been a more exciting opener for that reason. I think that should have been the opener, and you should have had Jonah and Ricky Shane Page follow. Right, back to positives. They made Jacobs a star in this. Don't look at it any other way. He absolutely came out of this tournament looking like a star, a stud. He overcame the 2 biggest men in the tournament, took them both out with clotheslines. Took several, but eventually took them both out with clotheslines. He had 2 fantastic wars on this show. One against Warren Banks, as I say, we should have opened, and one against the Jonah match again was an absolute war. That's why I think again it should have been the opener, because it started with a war and finished with a war. So that the Coroner and the Spike Trevay rivalry is right up there with some of the best Progress rivalries in its history. It's right up there with the Jimmy Havoc and Will Ospreays, the Will Ospreays and the Villain, Walter and Whittle, Ilya Dragunov and Cara Noir, and of course, now for me, Spike Trevay and Cara Noir. I honestly, yeah, definitely. I think I'm going to write an article about it soon, about their rivalry as being right out there as one of the top rivalries in Progress history. So I'm going to give this one 4 sugars.
Hey,
I think this one was definitely the best tonight, and yeah, I think this was a really, as I say, some great wars. There were a couple of matches that did go past their due dates, but I would say overall, definitely 100% worth checking out the Progress Atlas tournament. Good first show, great second show.
Awesome.
Tell us about NXT UK, please, because I didn't watch it this week.
You might be thankful. Lash Legend arrived and she gave her bag to Millie McKenzie, mistaking her for the staff. She then appeared on the Supernova Sessions.
Oh.
It was awful. It was really bloody awful. It involved them making it look like he wet himself, and Cheryl Samuels trying to one up and give better flowers. It was just poor, really, really poor.
What do you mean by splashing water on him? Or
he was so excited he spilt water over his trousers, so it looked like he wet himself. Yeah, it's worse than I'm describing. Trust me.
I don't think Vince McMahon has forgotten about NXT UK. I think Vince McMahon has still got his bloody fingers on NXT UK, and it's awful. No, carry on.
Skid then announced a new tag tournament to find a new #1 contender, which I think is exactly what they did last time, unless I'm mistaken. Von Wagner was then backstage. We got interrupted by Sam Gradwell. So we're going to get Von Wagner versus Sam Gradwell.
Good match for Gradwell.
It is, and we'll see how he's progressing in his new character. Damon Kemp then interrupted Shah Samuels while Shah Samuels was trying to chat up Lash Legend. We then had a good match. Tate Mayfair versus Tiger Turan. Tate had the majority of the match, and the commentators really put him over well. Tiger Turan won with a senton. Not a normal finishing move. Senton bomb.
From the top rope?
Yep.
What was his wrestling style like? Is it who we think it is?
I think it's who we think it is.
So this is going to be the new thing. NXT UK stars are going to disappear and come back under masks renamed. Well,
you'll see a little bit more about that in a minute.
Okay.
Smith and Carter then met up with Gallus. That was pointless. They're going to wrestle.
Should be a good match.
Hopefully.
Which version of it? Wolfgang and Mark, please. Oh, not the brothers.
No, the brothers.
Oh, God. Why the brothers? At least they'll, you know what? They'll lose. So that's good.
We then had promo for Ivy Nile, who's going to be having a match next week against Nina Samuels.
Oh, poor Nina.
I think Nina stands a chance. Danny Jones was then jobbed out with no entrance to take on Damon Kemp.
Who is Damon Kemp?
Damon Kemp's one of the Americans that's come over.
Okay. You mentioned it earlier. I'm like, who the hell is Damon Kemp?
Danny Jones again looked great. He always does. Kemp then hit a rolling slam and a body slam for the 1, 2, 3. Again, not a normal finishing move, a body slam. It wasn't even sort of like a massive body slam. It was just a body slam for the 1, 2, 3.
No, and then like a power slam?
No, it was just a body slam. Afterwards, Shah Samuels beat down Kemp because he interrupted him trying to chat up Lash Legend.
Go on, Shah.
Tiger Turan was then seen backstage and got chased by Kenny Williams. So they didn't do anything more about who it might be or touch on that, but Kenny Williams did chase him.
So, yeah.
We then had a promo video for De Familia. It's the same as all the other ones they've done. We then had a promo video for Jordan Devlin versus Ilya Dragunov.
Was it another perfume advert?
Not too bad, actually. Not too bad at all.
The familiar ones have gotten really... They're almost as bad as the Ganas ones. They've just become repetitive and...
Yeah.
Bad.
Isla Dawn versus Meiko Satomura in a World of Darkness match, which is a no DQ or count-out match in a low light setting. Yeah. Satomura attacked before the bell, which made sense because of everything that happened before. Meiko basically did lots of kicks. Isla Dawn brought in lots of weapons. Nice bit was she opened a trinket box, brought out the bit of Danny Luna's hair and pulled it across Meiko's mouth and across her eyes in a trying to blind her during the match type way. That was at least something that made sense with the style of the match. Unfortunately, when Isla Dawn was outside the match, there was suddenly strobe lighting and smoke coming out from under the ring, but then nothing happened. It was all right. Satomura got tied to the ring post and then whipped with a very heavy looking rope. That did look nasty. She then escaped and absolutely battered down Isla Dawn with a kendo stick. Isla Dawn locked in a tarantula, did that well. It was nice to see. Went for a double knee Meteora, but wasn't able to get the count. And Satomura hits a driver through a chair, then a Scorpio rising off a chair for the 1, 2, 3.
Tell us your positives and your negatives.
My negatives is that the Americans are coming in and are being made to look foolish and not being given the opportunity to show what they can do. There's a lot of potential to bring in new talent and have great matches rather than just rubbish, really. Tate Mayfair's look great. Danny Jones looked great. That's the positives. The Mako versus Isla Dawn match wasn't all that. Also, what's the point of having Mako win twice? All in all, I'm afraid that I give this 2 sugars.
It seems like this seems to now be the Mako way. She has one match, it's a normal match. Then they have the second match, and it's a violent match.
Yeah.
So expect that to probably happen the next time round.
We shall see.
Be nice to get Aoife Valkyrie and Blair Davenport back.
Definitely. Really looking forward to Blair Davenport coming back. So, yeah.
And Aoife Valkyrie.
Yeah, and Aoife Valkyrie, but...
And Danny Luna as well. She's been out injured for us. Or is she back? No, I think she's still out.
No, she's still out injured.
And I've put this bit in the wrong place because that's Sunday, so I don't do progress. So we'll do that on Sunday. Let's talk about our top picks for the week.
Friday the 13th, Sacrifice Pro Wrestling Aubergine Emoji in Bedford. I've just entered a competition to win a ticket for that. Warren Banks, Truman Roswell, and more will be in action.
Indeed. Then you've got SWW, Southwest Wrestling. They've got an all-women show, and it's called Shooting at the Walls of Heartache. And for some reason, I just want to sing it like it's an 80s ballad, like Shooting at the Walls of Heartache.
Don't.
Okay.
No.
Oh well, but that's literally what it sounds like to me. And it's Cheltenham. There's some good matches available. Lucia Lee versus Cara, Melissa Fierce versus Ivy versus Dominita, Aurora versus Ruby Radley, Harley Hudson versus Rio, Zaya Brookside versus Lizzie Evo, and Chantel Jordan versus L.A. Taylor for the Warriors Championship. And obviously I know he's not a woman, but congratulations to Tate Mayfair because he became the SWW Openweight Champion recently. I think this weekend.
Well done. Saturday the 14th, Lancashire Wrestling Federation Wastelands. Leia Raven returns and Aidan Steen will take on Tom Felwell and many more matches.
Yeah, it does seem to have a good few matches on that one, and Aidan Steen versus Tom Felwell should be something quite special. In Liverpool, you've got Superstar Wrestling with In Your Scouse, Harley Hudson versus Lizzie Evo, and I don't think you can get a more Scouse matchup than that. There's plenty more in action.
That's going to be a really wicked show. New Generation Wrestling's Homecoming in Hull. Laurie, who is one of my favourites from this year so far, versus Alexis Falcon. Robbie X versus Miles Kamen, Nathan Cruz versus Adam Maxted, and Matt Myers versus Sam Bailey.
Some good matchups there. I saw Robbie X take on Miles Kamen at BWR show recently. A really, really good match. And Nathan Cruz versus Maxted should be a solid match. North Wrestling NCL, we truly mean all disrespect in Newcastle. That is the name of the show, by the way. So, just in case. It is Shreddy versus Warhorse. And Liam Slater finally faces Rory Coyle one-on-one for the North Championship. And there's so much more, including Max the Impaler, Adam Maxted, Crash Boat will be there, Gia Adams, and so many more. Bad Boy Jim as well, which is G Money and Lycos Jim. It's going to be an incredible show, and hopefully I will review their last show, which was Let the Cannons Fly, free, and hopefully I will review that for you guys next week.
Yeah. Also, congratulations to North Wrestling NCL on a 7th consecutive sellout. That is fantastic, and let's be honest, it's not surprising either with the quality of matches that they are putting on.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten to the point where they're announcing the talent that's going to be at the show. They're not really actually announcing the matchups, and they're still selling out. and it's fantastic to see. They'll have to probably look at some point to go, do we need to be in a bigger venue?
Yeah, and the answer will probably be yes.
Indeed. Sunday the 15th.
We've got Ignite Pro Wrestling, Forrest Hayes versus Warren Banks for the Ignite Championship. And then an amazing four-way match sponsored by 1310, I believe.
Yeah.
Danny Black versus Just Joe Lando versus Tommy Kyle versus Corey McRae. Those four are going to have an absolute storming match. Also announced Kira Chimera versus Sapphire Reed and more.
Yeah, there's a load of fantastic young talent on there from Nino Bryan, Bryan's younger brother, and Smashing Mike, I believe, is on the show as well.
He is, yeah.
Some fantastic. We'll be talking more about Smashing Mike in a little bit as well, but it does really look like a great show. And then, of course, it is Progress Chapter 134, No Mountain High Enough, in London. Of course, the Electric Ballroom in Camden. I do believe tickets still available, progress.com. progresswrestling.com, sorry. There's a fatal four-way. Axel Tisca, Jörn Simmons, Bobby Guns, and Maggot battle it out for a shot at entering the Super Strong Style 16. I'm wanting Maggot, and yourself?
I'm also wanting Maggot.
Very interesting. Max the Impaler versus Raven Creed. And I'll tell you a little secret about my interview with Spike Trevay. He's really looking forward to seeing Mario. Done that again. How do I do that? Spike Trevay is looking really forward to seeing Max the Impaler in action. He hadn't known much about them beforehand, and has checked out some of their work, and he is very impressed.
As they should be.
RKJ versus Leon Slater, which could just well be an instant bloody classic. Two amazing young performers. Luke Jacobs defends the Atlas Championship for the first time against Big Wavy, Ibiza's favorite wrestler, the Wasteman, Roy Johnson, leader of the Wasteman Challenge. Should be a great match. Big boy matchup. Big boy slapping me. Jonathan Gresham then takes some Gene Money. Of course, if Gene Money wins, he gets entered in this year's Super Strong Style 16. If he loses, he does not.
Come on, Gene.
Alexis Falcon versus Sky Smithson, and it's a tables match. Sunshine Machine versus the Smoking Aces in a number one contenders match. The 0121 will be there. They will be watching. You know this is going to end up being a triple threat tag match at the next show.
It's possible.
And then main eventing, Spike Trevay versus Cara Noir. As I say, go check my interview out. It is a compelling watch to hear Spike Trevay talk about Cara Noir.
It is going to be beautiful violence.
Indeed. And as I say, it's definitely the standout rivalry of the new generation of Progress. And as I say, I think it ranks up there with the biggest rivalries in Progress history.
Indeed. Right, our further roundup. Let's start off with someone we just spoke about, North Wrestling NCL. North celebrate their 6th anniversary with Party Till You Puke on the 9th of July, which will feature Mr. Scott Garland, also known as Scotty Too Hottie.
Indeed, should be a great show. Sovereign Pro Wrestling have announced Kid Bandit's first UK debut match. He will be part of Sovereign Pro's Crown Cup elimination match on the 1st of October at First Reign. The match will also feature Simon Miller, Ian Skinner, Smashing Mike, and HT Drake. I am so looking forward to Kid Bandit and Kick-Ass Ian Skinner squaring off one-on-one and doing some high-speed, technical, back-and-forth striking submission. It's going to be excellent. Don't get me wrong, I'm really looking forward to all the guys in this show, the Smashing Mike. And do you know what I really like about this matchup?
Go on.
The fact that Ian Skinner wrestles in Scotland, Smashing Mike wrestles down in the southeast. Simon Miller wrestles mainly mid-south. HT Drake typically wrestles in the northwest. Northeast. And then you have Kid Bandit from America. I love this, just bringing people from all over the country and from outside of the country and putting them all together in this match, because, you know, I don't think we've ever seen Ian Skinner versus HT Drake. We certainly haven't seen Ian Skinner versus Smashing Mike, and that is a matchup I would actually really like to see. So again, I can't wait for those guys to square up. And the same goes for, you know, Simon Miller. Has he come across HT Drake in a match yet? Has he come across Smashing Mike in a match? Or he certainly hasn't come across Ian Skinner yet. So I think it's just great just to see all this. You've pulled it in from all across the country and put these competitors together. I think it's amazing.
Also announced Warren Banks versus Joseph Connors in a second championship qualifying match. Soft Pro, you're doing great, guys. You are doing great.
Yeah, so you got the 2 qualifying matches for the heavyweight championship will be, as you just mentioned, Warren Banks versus Joseph Connor, which I'm assuming is going to be a first time ever matchup. I can't certainly think of any time these guys probably would have crossed paths, one-on-one in particular. And then on the other side, you've got Malik versus Chris Ridgway versus Hotfire Myron Reed, the Young Goat. They're going to be 2 incredible matches. And who do you think is going to win both matches?
Joseph Connors and I'm going to go Malik.
I was going to go Malik and Banks. Interesting indeed. Good wrestling. You go for it. Milton Keynes.
They are back in Milton Keynes on the 21st of May with Everything Is Fine. And they are stacking the card. They will include Brendan White versus Jack Knudsen, Hustle Malone and Chantal Jordan versus Lycos Jim, Mike Bird versus Man Like Bino, and Gene Money versus Warren Banks.
Indeed. Jurassic Pro JPW, shout out to our friends over there. After announcing the introduction of the Lost World Championship last week, JPW have announced their first qualifying match, which will be at Spit Out the Bone on 12th of June. It's CJ Carter versus Hustle Malone versus Tommy Kyle versus Xander in a fatal claw-way match. Plus tag team action as the lads Ben Jones and Alex Echo, go check out our interview with Alex Echo, will be facing West Side Heat. And it is another one of these guys turned around and said, we should face each other. And then they went, you know what, let's just book it in Jurassic Pro. And they did. So fair play to that. Who do you think's winning the qualifying match?
I think winning the qualifying match should be Tommy Kyle. And I also just want to say, how awesome does that belt look?
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting design. And I love the T-Rex. It's just dinosaurs. They love them, apparently, over there. But I'm going to go with CJ Carter.
That's cool.
You know what? Go check our interview out with CJ Carter as well. Two faces of a wrestler.
Or Tommy Kyle, because, you know, we did that one as well.
You did that one, of course you did. Yeah. Go check her out. Go check out all our interviews. We've had some amazing guests on this show, and we're so proud to have had these guests. Anyway, DNA Pro Wrestling.
5 matches have been announced for Why It's Spicy, including Brendan White versus RKJ, Murdoch Miller Jr. versus Sullivan King, Elijah versus Nico Angelo, CJ Carter versus Man Like Bino, and Amira Alvarez versus Ava White. This will all go down on the 18th of June in Ipswich.
And the answer to the question, why is it spicy, is Amira Alvarez versus Ava White. That's going to be a spicy matchup.
Yes, their online comments have been absolutely hysterical. I love it.
Reach Wrestling. If you want to see another one of our recent guests in action, Echo Reed, go check out that interview. She'll be wrestling at her home promotion, Reach Wrestling, live in St. Austell on the 25th of June. And you'll need to hurry up because 50% of the tickets have already sold out.
UKPW's Out of Nowhere special has been announced as a quick scoop.
Quick scope special.
Quick scope special. Basically, it's a special price on the 21st of May. You can see the stars of UKPW for just £6, or a group of 4 of you for just 20 quid. That's at St Michael's Community Centre, Welling. One match has been announced so far, and that's Jake O'Grady versus Stuart Shepherd. Then on the 27th of May, UKPW will be at the Pentagon Shopping Centre, Chatham, with Medway Night Raw. There will be a brawl in the mall. Love it. That'll be followed by Hold Your Colour in Falconwood on the 28th of May. It's a busy couple of weeks for UKPW. They have had their full card being announced, including a Tag Team Championship match as the Two Good Eggs defend against Harry Sefton and Jay Alexander, plus Amira Ares and Jordan Saeed versus David Francesco and Ava White. Sapphire Reed versus Rhea O'Reilly, KM Lane versus Callie Gray, and a ladder match for the Inter-Regional Championship as Just Joe Lando challenges Danny Black on a ladder. There's going to be some bodies flying around there. And then finally, on Friday, June the 3rd, we'll be on the Gillingham High Street for a day of live wrestling exhibitions in support of the very excellent Gillingham Street Angels with lovely Jubilee, as in Jubilee, as part of the Jubilee celebrations that weekend. What a busy time for UKPW.
Yeah, poor Alex is probably pulling his hair around with all of this by now. Shout out to Alex, good friend. Go check out our UKPW interviews. Just see, I told you we just had so many amazing guests on our show. But yeah, that 28th of May show, the Hold Your Colour does seem like really good. And Just Joe Lando and Danny Black in a ladder match. God, that's just gonna be great, isn't it? British Wrestling Revolution. It's time for the Royal Rumble on the 27th of May at the Memorial Hall, Grimsby. Robbie X, Joseph Connors, RKJ, Will Cruz, Nathan Cruz, different Cruz, Man Like the Reese, Big Guns Joe, 2-Bit, Scotty Rourke, Crash Boat, Reese and Rogan, and more will all be in action. Wrestle Carnival news.
We now know that Wrestle Carnival will make their London debut on the 10th of September with Charles Crowley's Funhouse at the Bush Hall in Shepherd's Bush. And this will be Wrestle Carnival's first over-18s show.
First London show as well. Although he's not strictly seen as an over-18 show. He says it's just going to have certain elements that you may consider out. So he's just telling people to be prepared. I don't think it's strict, like you can't bring children or anything like that, but it's because he does. But it should be a fun show. It's gone crazy online. I think the VIP, possibly already might be sold out. They literally only had a few left. So if you wanted to get down to Wrestle Carnival, if you want the VIP experience, you better get your ass on those VIP tickets ASAP. Other than that, you should definitely probably check out this show.
Phenomenal Elite Wrestling are back in action on the Jubilee weekend, the 4th of June with Jubilee. There will be a 6-man tag action as the Entitled, the new team of Brady Phillips, Riley Nova and Ivy, face James Mason, Aurora Tevez and Big Guns Joe. Plus, there are 2 more Fallen Angels quarter-final matches. LA Taylor will take on Ronnie Knox and Mia Cortez will take on Alfie.
Again.
It's going to be good.
1PW, Big Effing Joe and Ricky Knight Jr. are the latest names to join the 1PW roster ahead of New Twist of Fate on the 1st of October at the Doncaster Dome. More than 500 people have already purchased tickets for this 1PW show, so congratulations to them. I do believe floor seating is completely sold out.
Awesome. EWA, the Entertainment Wrestling Alliance, are living a quarter mile at a time ahead of their road to the Bash on the 11th of June. Alexander Roth, The Rebellion, Simon Miller, Jordan Saeed, Connor Mills and Bullet will all be in action in High Wycombe at the Judo Centre.
Indeed. Kamikaze Pro Wrestling, they're celebrating their 9th anniversary on the Friday, the 24th of June in Digbeth in Birmingham. Chantel Jordan, Mariah May, Session Moth Martina, Lana Austin, Dan Maloney, Joseph Connors, Chris Ridgway, Charles Crowley, Elijah, LK Messinger, Sean Custom, TK Cooper, Chuck Mambo, Man Like the Reese, Luke Douglas, and MVK Falcabius will all be in action.
I'm amazed you had the breath left to do that at the end. European wrestling news, because we are international.
We like to keep one eye on it.
You do WXW because that is your baby.
Indeed. Their next big show is True Colors, which is the 28th of May. Both the Unified World Championship and the Women's Championship will be on the line. Baby Allison defends her Women's Championship against former champion Ivor Koloski, whilst former Unified Champion Axel Tischer challenges the new champion Tristan Archer.
Exciting.
Did I forget to do the... I did. I forgot to do WXW's review. I will do that very quickly now. Senza Volto defeated Fast Time Mudo. Heisenberg defeated Lavaniel by countout. After the match, he attacked him. It was Jörn Simmons who came out and made the save. Rod and Flott defeated Only Friends. Maggot defeated Rick Salem, retaining his Shotgun Championship. Norman Harris then says that the lottery was actually invalid and they had to run it again. And wouldn't you know it, Harris won. So for the third time, he faced Maggot for the Shotgun Championship, in which Maggot defeated him in less than a minute. After which, Harris says there will be no more lottery for the Shotgun Championship. And so that'll be very interesting. Dreisker defeated Oscar. Well, originally Oscar won by disqualification, but they were like, no, we're not having that. You're going to make this a no DQ match. So Dreisker and Oscar battled it out, and Dreisker eventually came out with the win. It was a very, very clever thing he did here.
Go on.
Oscar had set him up for the old in the corner, leg spread, boot the turnbuckle.
Aye.
But while he walked away to do it, Axel Tischer removed the turnbuckle cover.
Oh.
And then continued to act like, no, don't do it. And then he obviously then kicked the metal turnbuckle as hard as he could, injured his foot. And then, of course, Tischer continued to attack the foot. Dreisker. So, yeah, that was very good. Then Tristan Archer defeated Jörn Simmons to become the Unified Champion. That's how I realized I forgot to do it. He did so in controversial fashion. At one point, Tristan Archer pulled the referee in the way of Jörn Simmons' spear. Out came Rot and Flott, who attacked Jörn Simmons, but Lavanio came out to return the favor, grabbing the championship belt. He clobbers both of Rot and Flott. Tristan Archer then tries to wrestle the belt away from Lavanio, and Lavanio, he then lets go, and Lavanio ends up smacking Jörn Simmons with the belt. Tristan Archer gets rid of him. Referee counts it 1, 2, 3. So after the match, when Lavanio was trying to say sorry and whatnot, he was obviously pushed away by Jörn Simmons. So interesting developments there in WXW Germany. Positives, fantastic opener. Good storylines here. All of this, the whole Norman Harris Maggot stuff's been really good. The match against Ricky Salem was good. The Rot and Flott tag team match was very, very good. Very surprising win for Rot and Flott, but good match. I'm trying to think of a negative for this show.
Negative was you forgot to review it.
Negatives, there were no women.
It's a good negative.
There's very, very... Now, WXW, they don't have a huge pool. And I think this is obviously causing an issue. I think there's literally about 3 or 4 regular female competitors in WXW Germany right now. There isn't a huge amount in the European continent full stop. Mm-hmm. But there are some available, and there are certainly plenty here in the UK that WXW should definitely think about bringing over to expand their women's division. I think they should offer some of these... there's some fantastic. We know there's some fantastic women out here in the UK, so they really should be part of it. Right. Onto the Tag Team Festival, which is it's October the 1st to October the 3rd, 3-day event. The first 2 teams have been entered for this year's Tag Team Festival. The first team is Shigehiro Irie. He'll be teaming with Fuminori Abe, with the pair really impressed in singles action during the 16 carat. It'll be very interesting now to see these two as a team. Plus a tag team from the US independent scene, Violence is Forever, Dominic Carini and Kevin Q. They actually make the return to the Tag Team Festival. They had previously competed in the 2019 version, and I am still very hopeful I will be there, not just as a fan, but doing media as well. Fingers crossed. Well, I need to get my hotel and flight sorted, but I can't do that till after I get married on June 18th. So shortly, soon, I'll be in touch, WXW. Thank you very much. And, right, the Italian Wrestling Association versus Lucha Libre Barcelona.
The IWA Cruiserweight Championship will be on the line at the IWA versus House of Lucha Libre Barcelona show on the 5th of June in a triple threat match between Sons of Volta, Mr. Flowy, and Anarcho Montana.
Yeah, Anarcho Montana, yeah. So Anarcho Montana is one of the Lucha Libre Barcelona regulars. Mr. Flowy is the Italian Wrestling Association and Sons of Volta, of course, is just the French luchador sensation.
Yeah.
Sticking with Lucha Libre Barcelona, on the 22nd of May, they have their House of Lucha 12. NXT UK's Levi Muir will be facing off against Golden Boy Santos in a big man slapping meat contest.
And also sticking with these 2 companies, IWA, the world famous Cheeseburger, will be part of the Italian Wrestling Association's 6th anniversary show on the 19th of November.
Congratulations, Cheeseburger, of course, ROH legend. Rings of Europe. Just Joe Lando is on his way to Austria for ROE's Summer Crush, which is on the 25th of June. He will be joined by OTT young star Martin Steers, as well as WAW's Winston. One half of the former Pretty Bastards will also be there, Prince Ahura. He was also announced just this week.
Hungarian Championship Wrestling, Heidi Katrina will be making her HCW debut at the Day of Glory show on the 21st of May.
Indeed. Body Slam Wrestling from Denmark. Carlos Zamora has won the vacant Body Slam Championship. He defeated Michael Finn at the Great Scandinavian Bash last night. Congratulations to Carlos Zamora, who now holds 2 of Denmark's top championships. He has become the Danish Belt Collector.
And finally, not necessarily European unless it's Eurovision, several British wrestlers are off to Israel for the Wrestle Mitzvah on the 13th of June. They include Cara Noir, Leighton Buzzard, Emerson Jane, Avon White, Session Moth Martina, Mariah May, and Harley Hudson.
Yeah, congratulations to all of them. If I'm right, I think one of the matches has been announced, the Cara Noir. If you just give me 1 second. Sure, I saw it from Adam Callier earlier. Yes, he will be taking on Yuval Goldschmidt.
Ooh.
And what a name, Wrestle Mitzvah. That's just fantastic. Israel actually has quite a buzzing scene over there. I think the Von Erichs do regular stuff over in Israel. So, well, that's been an episode and a half.
It has indeed. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And please remember,
don't feed the trolls.